everybody. Welcome to the new session today. We are here because John and Catherine are in the Creative World Fair, International Fair. Very big, and they are there with our booth. Please come visit to Frankfurt from tomorrow to Sunday, and it's open to the public. And you can visit all the brands. We are at the 10B21 per floor. So we are happy to welcome you. So today we are going to talk about the cobalt family. Now in the market there are 9 colors. So Giovanni is showing him. So and upcoming the cobalt green, cobalt deep green. So very new. It's out in the market from a couple of days. So, and it will be available soon in your favorite stores. So here they are. You have the Aureolin Cobalt Yellow. I can spotlight much bigger our watch. So Aureolin Cobalt Yellow, the Cobalt Blue Violet, Cobalt Violet Deep, Cobalt Violet, Cobalt Teal Blue, Cobalt Turquoise, Cobalt Green Pale, Cobalt Green, and the new Cobalt Deep Green. So most of them are transparent, while other like Cobalt Blue and Cobalt Blue Violet are semi-transparent. So you don't worry about the opacity of this family. So it's very they are very pretty to do some nature subject. You may use also for still life. We can see after Carrie who's painting still life, we can see Angela doing some loose painting with those colors, so mixing the colors, and also Ashley too, watching some all these colors together. So enjoy the session, and we are available to talk also in the chat. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, guys, thank you, my beautiful wife. And I'm starting with a very fun session because I use this Cobalt family, but in a light mode with the explosion, the color in wet on wet system. And starting for the first is Aureolin. Is one of my favorite yellow. Try to create a very dot mixing. The second,
it is a light and middle yellow.
Yeah, is cobalt blue. The cobalt blue is inside in my set core mixing 7-6, for example. Very is more fast explosion to yellow. The third is cobalt blue violet. It's different, for example, not very fast to explosion. Per color is cobalt violet deep. More fast. Now there is cobalt violet. Very beautiful violet. And another color is the most useful color in the world, cobalt teal blue.
This is very famous.
texture. The cobalt turquoise.
We have already shown it with the turquoise family in the past session.
Yeah. The cobalt green. Cobalt green pale. Last.
The question by Svetlana is it this possible the only yellow that is not a Bali? The aureolin is not so strong. So
And the last is the new beautiful color, cobalt green deep. Is too dark. Very beautiful cobalt in wet on wet. And now try to show simple in dry on wet. Okay. Change my from dark and yellow, restarting with Aureolin. Cobalt blue.
cobalt blue also is a middle
Yeah,
color.
middle color. I select, for example, cobalt blue in my set because it's mono and very central in the blue range. Cobalt blue violet, beautiful, strong. Cobalt violet deep.
Yes, all the colors are granulating colors. Instead, the aureolin is non-granulating color because it's a yellow.
Cobalt violet deep. And cobalt violet, sorry. The famous cobalt teal. Cobalt turquoise. Cobalt green. Cobalt green pale. Very light and granulating color. And
The new one.
the new one, cobalt green deep. Very beautiful, beautiful color. And now, for example, mixing and explain the sequence of use the cobalt, but I use, for example, only for cobalt in this mode. For example, so I take my in this mode. I use a simple piece of plastic and tinted the transparent watercolor ground with the cobalt. One coat and two coats. And for the mixing, I use the orange, permanent orange, Mayan orange, pyrrole orange, and cadmium orange hue. But I study in this mode because I use, for example, the transparency for check the sequence. In this mode, I have this dark cobalt and change. I have in another is completely transparent because when I use my light, for example, Oops. It's
Non si vede.
completely transparent. It's too
No.
dark. Oops. And I'm mixing in this mode, for example, cobalt blue violet with Mayan orange, 2 coats and 1 coat, and I check the sequence. Before I apply to my sheet, I select in this way for practicity. And for example, cobalt violet deep with cadmium orange, cobalt violet deep before, and in this case after.
Giovanni, we're really fascinated with the fact that you've put the clear ground on a transparency sheet so you can mix the colors
Yeah,
while you're looking for ideas. That's fantastic.
That is. That's
thank
so
you. Thank you. And it's a simple tip. It's very helpful for select before the color, before applying in my work. And another tip with the cobalt is a little play with all of you. Is a mix with your eyes, because which color is inside, with which cobalt, for example, is a 3 cobalt.
Teal's in the center.
Sorry?
Teal is in the center.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which color mixing with your eyes? Is a aureolin, cobalt violet, and cobalt green. Is a simple tip for only with your eyes. Mixing is a thousand line, and when looking on the distance, your eyes mixing the color with the cobalt. Okay, thank you, and let's see another brand ambassador, Ashley.
Hey everybody. So today we're gonna explore some poetry a little bit. So okay, I've been digging into the website a little bit, the Daniel Smith website. And I don't know if you guys know this, I brought it up last week, but we've got something called color stories over there. And not only are they kind of fun and poetic, maybe a little cheesy sometimes, but they're also really informational. So as I go through these colors, I may bring up some of the color stories just to help us like shed some light on some of these colors. So first of all, we've got, and these are my, like I said last week, these are my new swatch cards inspired by our own Marty. I was really inspired when I saw her doing this method of swatch cards. So here we've got the color at the top, and then the pigment number, the transparency, the light fastness, whether they're staining or non-staining, and series, and then whether or not they granulate. So NG means non-granulating. So of all these colors, Aureolin or cobalt yellow is the only non-granulating color. And I wish there was a granulating yellow out there. I really do. And I'm not talking like yellow ochres and stuff. I'm just talking like I would love a granulating yellow. And I know that John mentioned why that's not really a thing. I don't remember why, but he just said it's not. There's some sort of chemical thing happening there where there's, that's not a possibility. But I'm sure we would all love that. So this color in the pan, it looks slightly different than when you lay it down. It's almost surprising how bright and sunshiny it is. And in the color story, it actually does mention sunshine a little bit. So it said that people use it, so landscape artists often rely on Aureolin to successfully glaze their watercolor or as a light wash in an underpainting to add the appearance of sunshine. So that is quite lovely. And it does have a different texture. So in the pan, it has a little bit more of a, you know how I would talk about like the gummy texture? It has that. It does take a minute to wake up. I really enjoy using it straight from the tube because it just provides us with such lovely color. So there's that one. And the next one that I have here is Cobalt Violet. Nope, nope, nope. I'm out of order. You caught me being out of order. Oh my goodness. The world shall stop turning. So now I've got Cobalt Violet Deep, and I love this color. I haven't played with it much until today, and I'm like blown away. So you can't really see it on camera, but what I'm seeing with my eyes is this like separation happening. And you can kind of get like the blue undertones when you're seeing it up close. So I'm going to read you a little bit about that one too. Aren't you guys so glad you came today? So Cobalt Violet Deep is a charming purple. It brings texture to your painting with its granulating properties. It says at full strength, this useful color is rich and bold with a velvet finish. Now, mine doesn't look super velvety because you guys know how I make my swatches. I like to go a little bit crazy. After I lay down my paint, I will splatter water into it and see what it does. I just think it's boring to make smooth swatches. If y'all like smooth swatches, I'm so sorry. That's fine. I'm a little bit of a crazy person. So there's that. And I actually want to compare it here with the Cobalt Blue Violet. They're really fun to see side by side. So the Cobalt Blue Violet is a brilliant purple with remarkable blue undertones and has a granulating texture. It says here, and this is, guys, if you have a list like me of like granulating recipes, add this to your recipe list. So it says, try mixing this bold color with Prussian green for surprisingly soft blue hues. So if I have time at the end, I am going to do that for you guys. So stay tuned for that. At full strength, it is dark enough for deep twilight shadows. So we'll have to pop the link to the color stories over in the chat because, guys, you could spend days reading all of these and it's so much fun. Okay, our next one. I swear this is such an underrated color. Cobalt Violet. I don't see a lot of people using this and I quite like it. So here it is in the pan. It looks kind of dark, but when you put it on paper, look at that. And the granulation is absolutely stunning. This is a single pigment color. This is not mixed. So this is PV49. And let's see what the poet has to say about Cobalt Violet. So Cobalt Violet embodies the softness of flower petals with its slightly granulating texture and lustrous finish. It doesn't get much better than this, you guys. With a truly transparent quality, this light purple radiates in light washes. The delicate pigment, and that is true, it is a very delicate pigment. You don't get like a pop, like if we're comparing it to anything, I'd say I'd compare it to wisteria, but it's a little more on the pink side. But it doesn't pop. It's just very delicate. It would be perfect for florals. But the delicate pigment comes alive at full strength, and because it is completely non-staining, highlights can be added and strokes reworked. It creates soft edges, and it makes a valuable contribution to watercolor palettes. You guys check this color out. I'm obsessed with this color. It is so lovely, and I just can't believe that more people don't know about it. Okay, next, we're going to do... Here, we're headed into blue territory now. We've got Cobalt Blue, a classic. I love Cobalt Blue. And as I was reading this, I actually learned a lot about it. So Cobalt Blue is considered a neutral blue. So it doesn't lean warm or cool. It is considered a neutral blue. I did not know that. It is a non-staining primary blue. It will subtly modify most pigments. It's considered a mixing pigment. Its semi-transparent nature can cast a giant reticulating shadow. I have no idea what that means. If you guys want to raise your hand and tell me what the heck that means, I would love it. So it says that it is considered non-staining or low tinting, and it's ideal for glazing methods. So there's that. And you guys are really quiet today. You're probably just enjoying my babbling. Cobalt green pale, another underrated color. It is like the cobalt violet. It is very delicate, very subtle. but look at that. Y'all are missing out if you haven't heard of this color. So cobalt green pale is a green blue. It's similar in application as cobalt green, all inorganic. They're considered transparent, non-staining, ideal for glazing methods. So that is that one. I'm gonna save the newer color for last, you guys. And we just mentioned cobalt green. Here's cobalt green in the pan, in case you want to see it. Isn't it interesting how in the pan they can often look so different, but this one kind of doesn't. You get what you get. So this is a green pigment, PG50. Cobalt green is a mid-range green yellow, useful for mixing middle value grays. Didn't know that. And then it says, introduce non-staining complementary colors to warm or cool the mix. Okay. And then we have cobalt turquoise. I think I talked about this one a few weeks back in our turquoise segment. So here is cobalt turquoise. I don't know, they're just kind of fun to look at mass tone sometimes.
Actually,
Yes.
comment from Amy in Facebook. She says that green pale would be great for mist and fog. The other one, the previous one.
Cobalt green pale.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. That's such a great idea for you landscape artists. Cobalt turquoise is a predictable non-staining teal blue with muscle. That's what I'm not kidding. It literally says that. I would love to meet this person who writes these. It has the presence to stand alone, but when used in a glaze or wash, it blends with incredible ease. Because of its slight granulation, you can achieve multi-layers and tone-on-tone effects to delight and surprise with each addition of a stroke. Fun stuff. All right, our favorite, cobalt teal blue. Can't forget cobalt teal. We love this, which is interesting. A lot of us see this as a blue, but it's actually green pigment. So we've got PG50, light oxide green is the actual technical, if you're a pigment nerd. I'm kind of getting into pigments lately, and it's kind of fun. So let's read about cobalt teal. Guys, I haven't read this one yet, so we're in for a surprise. An extraordinarily beautiful color for painting turquoise blue skies, a must-have for sunny Mediterranean skies and tropical seas. Mixing with this pigment helps make bright shadows and also use it to render the desired patina on a copper pot. I love that. That makes me want to go paint a patina. An inorganic pigment, that's just saying the same stuff as all the other cobalts. Its ability to create soft edges to lift and mix, make it a valuable contribution. We love cobalt teal. Total MVP right there. Okay, and finally, I'm almost done. We have cobalt green deep. Now, this is one of the 6 new Daniel Smith colors coming out this year. They're starting to hit retailers. If you want to get your hands on this, you need to ask your retailers if they have it or if they will order it. So be on the lookout for this one. This color is so unique. I've compared it to all the other Daniel Smith greens over on my YouTube channel, and it really stands alone. There is no comparison. Let me see. I don't think it's even on here yet. Cobalt green. Nope, it's not even in the color stories yet. So that is to be written. But let's see here. Can I just show you how this re-wets, you guys? So I have used this within the last couple hours. It's still a little bit wet, but can I just show you how beautiful this color re-wets? Are you ready for this? So I'm barely touching my brush to it, and it's just, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit for the swatching. We're all here for the swatching. Look at that. Look at that. I'm gonna get a little bit more water in my brush here. Look at that. I mean, the way that this re-wets blows my mind. Because a lot of the cobalts take a minute. You know, they just, like I've said before, they're a little bit like my teenage son. They just need a little bit of water and a little bit of time to wake up, but not this one. This one is amazingly easy to to re-wet. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that pigment. And the way that this granulates is so great. If you're like me and you like to make your own like granulating recipes, this mixes really well. But like I said, it's such a standalone color. And I'm going to add some water and just see how we get some dispersion here. So we're going to put a little water down and then like watch it kind of, it does have beautiful dispersion. That was not the best example of a swatching, but let's add a little water and see how those pigments. The reason I do this is because I want to watch what the pigments do. Different paints have different, like no two pigment is alike. So some pigments are heavier, some are chunkier, they're just bigger. And so it's really fun to drop water in and kind of watch them play, see if they'll move. Sometimes they won't move because they're just a really heavy pigment and they've already settled into the paper. The cobalt green pigment number is PG26. That is for Susan in Facebook. So PG26, single pigment. So there you have it. And it almost leans a little blue.
Lovely
Just,
pigment.
yeah, just a touch. It's just such a beautiful color. Can't wait to see what people do with this color. So that is actually all I have for now. I will get busy mixing the mixture I mentioned earlier, and maybe at the end, if we have time, I'll show that. So on to you, Carrie. Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Carrie.
Hello. Sorry, I had my mute on. So I just wanted to show you, I have all of the colors swatched. We've seen Gio and we've seen Ashley kind of talk about them, but I just want to show them all in one big grouping. And as a still life painter, I automatically go to glass. And what a beautiful grouping of colors. For sea glass colors, I automatically think of like the ball jars that are in that turquoise color, blue and turquoise glass. So all of these colors are just lend themselves so nicely. And every time I have kind of a cool, I would consider kind of this like sea glass palette, it's great to have a warm, like a yellow that you're going to blend in and have kind of that complement, when you're doing purples, you want to have the complement in your painting. So that really in cobalt yellow adds that in there. So luckily enough, I feel like things happen for a reason. I have this one pulled, ready to do a demo possibly with it. And so I thought, wow, I could do all of these colors that we're doing today in these two teacups. And so these little cups are stacked. It's a cobalt blue, on the bottom, and this is more of a turquoisey glass. And then I was just talking about, it's great to have that warm color. Now, when I paint this, this is my reference photo. So I'm going to take the liberty to edit out some things. So my background will just be a solid dark. I won't have, blurred cars and yard back there. But what I love, I set my still lifes up outside always so I can get the dramatic sunlight, so I can get these great shadows down here. So see that nice warmth in there? That's where I'll use that cobalt yellow, is right up in here. And it creates kind of this complement to the whole thing and pulls your eye up there. So I have started. I am a slow painter, so we will not get this finished, of course, in 15 minutes, but I'm just going to show you some of the mixes that you can get with these beautiful cobalts. And down here, I already have cobalt teal blue has been kind of my turquoisey color, this first glaze that I'm doing. And I build up and kind of finish in sections normally one at a time. So I've been trying to bounce around so I had more of it done. But I'm building up now with cobalt blue down here with this nice, lovely blue glass. And this is the cobalt blue color. I'm trying to get these circle upon circle down here. Edge straightened up. So I've got the cobalt blue is kind of my medium value going on. And then I always need a dark value. So I'm using my cobalt blue violet. I have mine poured in their own little pans. I make my pans out of them. So they're labeled on the bottom. And that's the tube paint put in here and dried. And this is my cobalt violet that I'm using as my darkest dark right now. So when I come in here and I have almost a black, and that's what I'm using Now I could enhance this, with another dark color, or I could mix in a little cobalt green to kind of darken that up a little bit if I wanted to. But we're just going to try to do this tone on tone kind of thing with the blues right now. And these have lots and lots of circles going on. So there's a lot of time with that. Up here on this top cup, I have started pulling in some of the greens. So maybe I'll come back up here and work a little bit on this one. So I'm going to get my cobalt teal blue out. Actually, I'm going to dip into my cobalt blue right now. So I'm going to get my cobalt blue and I'm going to come in right under here under my cobalt teal, green. And put in this. I do have masking on this. And my masking is tinted a light blue. So it's always a fun game of what is cobalt teal blue and what is my masking fluid. I like to use that tinted mask just so that students can see where the masking is when I'm painting. But when you're using a same color as your painting, it gets a little confusing. But I have a lot of little mask dots in here. I don't know if you can see them. All of these areas down here are it's masking fluid. I'm going to come in and start building up the deep color. And I'm painting from my iPad, which I love to paint from because you can zoom in to a section. It's illuminated from the back. So you get brighter colors. So it enhances my painting. Whereas if I painted from this, it's pretty dull and one tone.
Carrie, how do you
Yes.
come up with the different tones from the photograph that is quite the same, everything is the same color or the same tone? What is your process?
So I'm gonna see if I can flip without it totally messing up. I'm gonna pull this for a second. So here's my iPad. Do you see how much brighter
Oh, yes.
it is on here? Now this is still kind of one tone in here. So this is where I'm gonna take some artistic liberty and I'm gonna add in some purples and some of those other colors that we have in our palette down in the middle of that blue. But up here we have quite a bit of color difference. See the green from the grass back there that's pulling in and all those things. So that you do have a little liberty that you're taking when you're doing this, as an artist to make sure it's interesting. But also, I think the iPad is very helpful. And also you can edit in your iPad very easily and throw, even with your pencil, if you have a pencil that you can use on there, you can actually draw in some colors if you wanted to work out, kind of see if it was going to work. If you threw in, some random color, you can kind of change the story up a little bit.
Because to me, it always makes it so magical how you add and edit and make it look so bright. And
well, thank you. That's kind of my mission with all of my work is I'm kind of taking these like utilitarian objects that we use every day and we don't really think about the fact that they are art within themselves. We might admire how pretty a teacup is or something, but I love to kind of take it, set it in the sun and give it its like, I'll be cheesy, its moment in the sun here, and photograph it and really like saturate those colors and play around and kind of add this whimsy magical element to it so that people kind of ask like you just asked, where do you find these colors? How are you doing that? And that's kind of my goal. So it makes me happy when people see that same magic. And that's what I'm trying to pull out when I'm painting these up. Oh, thank you. And I'm always trying to think of something a little bit different, like if you're seeing people's work online or you're entering shows, I always am thinking, okay, if a lot of people are going to paint a flower, how could I make my flower stand out? How could I make my still life stand out? Same thing, if you're doing landscapes or portraits, what about it is going to make it pop? And I've judged a lot of shows and I've been in a lot of shows, and I can tell you, you know, that there's some kind of graphic appeal that normally stands out. I mean, everyone, it's subjective, you know, what people like, but you need something that kind of catches your eye, especially like if you're having a piece that you're entering for a show. You may have like 30 seconds on it as they look through a presentation or a slideshow, you know, online to catch their eye. I'm putting our cobalt green in here, and I'm going to get a little of that cobalt, the new color, the cobalt deep green in a second. This is the cobalt green. And isn't this a lovely, you know, like I talked about when I introduce a color, I like to have 3 values. So as the cobalt green is your lightest, the cobalt green is your mid, and your cobalt green deep as your dark. They're so pretty together. So let's get that cobalt green deep. Some of these I just poured, and I don't like painting with wet paint, so it drives me a little bonkers.
You don't?
No, it's all what you get used to. When I first started painting, I only had pans. When I was living in Germany, and my art store only had pans, no tubes, and I just got used to that. And so now it's kind of like one more thing I have to think about if it's fresh paint.
Someone wants would like you to remind us what is your favorite support or paper. What paper do you use?
This is Arch 156 pound. So it's in between the 140 pound and the 300 pound. It comes in kind of an elephant size when you order it, and you normally have to get like 10 sheets. But I like that it comes a little larger, so it's 40 by 30, I believe, that it comes in by the sheet.
But is it cold pressed?
This is cold press, yes, sorry. Yeah, this one is cold press. All right, I'm gonna get my cobalt green up here, and then we're gonna do a little of the cobalt yellow or Aurelian. The 156 pound is nice. I still have it taped to a board, but I don't have to stretch it like I feel like I need to with the 140 pound. All right, I'm gonna get the cobalt pale green. I put over here. Isn't that beautiful? Such a sea color, you know, like the. And the other thing, I don't paint with a palette. I have my colors kind of mingle together up here. So I'm using a lot of tube colors, and lucky for me, Daniel Smith has such great colors right out of the tube. So that's what I'm painting with. I'm gonna get a little of my cobalt teal blue, put it in here at the top. Look how beautiful these colors are together.
Oh, amazing.
And what I love about painting glass is that, to me, it's like all these little abstract paintings. So like Angela's going to show us in a minute these beautiful colors that she has kind of very loose and free, all mingling together. And I feel like inside of a realistic still life, here's the Aurelian, the cobalt yellow. Inside of a still life, there's 1,000 little abstract paintings. And in fact, one time I challenged myself and I zoomed in on my still life and painted some really zoomed in areas and did a series of abstracts that way.
Oh, wow. I admire your paintings.
Oh, thank you. I admire yours.
I think these meetings, these live sessions are so good because we can learn from each other.
I agree. And we see so many different styles, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Taking it, is this my cue to be done, or do I have a few?
But you will continue painting, yeah?
I will continue painting, yes. If we're moving on to Angela, yes, I will continue painting. Maybe at the end, Ethel can go back and look at everybody's.
Okay. I would like to show two tests that I did. I tried to paint my loose, I mean, quite free, mixing all the colors, all these cobalts. And here I've got the tubes so that you can see which colors they are, because they get mixed with others. Here I have the Aureolin. It's quite strong, but it's beautiful. It mixes so well with the violet. And if you mix it, here there is a little bit of undertone of this cobalt violet. With the cobalt seal, it makes a gorgeous green even. You'll see it in the other painting. Here is the cobalt green pale. It's very delicate next to the more powerful cobalt turquoise. And this is cobalt blue violet. Here, mixed with a little bit, it got mixed with cobalt teal blue, if you can see here the mixture. And cobalt blue, the neutral blue, which I love. And cobalt violet. There is, yeah, no, cobalt, yes, cobalt violet, and the other one is the cobalt violet deep. So this is the painting, the general painting that I did. You can see it.
That is so beautiful, Angela.
Thank you, dear.
I think we were saying before, it reminds me of a beautiful stained glass window and the light coming through it.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's not representational, and it doesn't mean anything in particular, but you can apply, as you say, you can see a stained window, another person can see something else. I seem to see like wings here as well.
Somebody in the comments said it's space.
Space, yeah.
I think it's explosive with light. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely. It has an explosion. Not intended, but it came out like this. And I love it the way it is. And you know that I like granulation. So without meaning to, I get the granulation. And here it's different, but it also most colors, cobalt, violet deep, cobalt violet. And this is the cobalt turquoise here. I love this cobalt turquoise. I love it. And cobalt blue, the yellow, the Aureolin. So what I was going to do is I was going to try and paint now so that you see. I think you've seen it already, but to show again how what is my process of getting to those mixes. And yeah, I think now it's better. Yeah. So I've got here the colors in my pan. And the first thing I do is I wet the paper, but in a very informal way. So what I do is like, can you see? I don't know if it shows, but I just take a wet brush and I just wet the paper irregularly. And some spaces have a lot of water and others don't have any. This is, by the way, hot press paper. I like it. You get, because I'm such a fan of granulations or reticulations, as you want to call it. It's easier to get them when you use this paper, for me at least. So I will start with, I love cobalt teal. And so I will start irregularly. I mean, no specific direction. First light and then adding quite pure pigment. Sometimes it's like straight from the tube. But cobalt teal blue is not a very powerful color. It's an excellent mixer, but it's not such a powerful color. Now I will use a different brush because I'll use this one. For the cobalt turquoise. Can you see how it already mixes? But it's because there is a lot of water on the paper. This way of painting, I must tell you, is quite messy. So if you don't want to have a messy table or messy paper, then you have to better paint inside the line, because this is quite messy. But I'm not moving the paper yet. I think I'm going to use the yellow. If someone wants to suggest a color, you do so in the chat and someone can read it to me, because I cannot read the chat at the moment. I like this yellow. Look at the effect of this yellow with the cobalt. I can also splash some color. And now onto the violets. Violet is not a color I use very often. I don't like it in my clothing. I don't use it very much. But this one, this is like a version of pink, as Ashley pointed out. I think she mentioned that. This is the cobalt violet, but it's so delicate. It's a beautiful color. I have to put a lot of pigment because when I incline it, it will all run down. So, and now I'm using the Cobalt Violet Deep, mixed with the blue and all the others. Now I'm going to incline for a moment and see what happens. Gravity helps. And then I evaluate what needs to be done and how it's coming along. Here we see that this color, this cobalt turquoise, is quite granulating. So I like that. If I'm satisfied, I continue. Otherwise, I correct it. But at the moment, it's okay. Yes? Hello? No? Cobalt blue violet now. I like the cobalt blue violet against these cobalt violet. And of course, cobalt blue. What could we do?
Angela, I think we have a question in Zoom. This is from Carol. Are you painting flat now? And then
Yes.
later you will tilt?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's doing it now. Carol, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. The reflections of the light, I don't know if they are good or bad. Sometimes I have too much water, so I try to get it out of the paper. Like this time, I always have towels ready. Paper towel. And I can place them on the table. You can play with inclination, sometimes in one direction, sometimes in the other. But here are some cobalts. But now I want to try different colors that are not the cobalts. If they combine well, for example, with wisteria. Wisteria is another soft color. Look. Goes very well with them, doesn't it? But it's more or less the same family. What happens if I use, for example, quinacridone gold? I have some quinacridone gold here. I didn't pour it out. Well, now in a moment. So quinacridone gold. Let's see what light it brings. Oh, wow.
Nice contrast, Angela.
As you see, I'm very, very careful. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, not very careful at all. And another
We
one.
can have Besnick now, and then we can
Yeah,
show
I'm ready.
everyone's work. Okay. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just did finish the mixes and the pure different cobalts. I'm gonna just say the name. So as you can see, it's cobalt violet, which is one of the most beautiful cobalts that I really love. This cobalt violet. Here is a difference you can see between cobalt violet deep and cobalt violet. This one is cobalt violet, cobalt blue violet. This one is the famous that I always use in my paintings, cobalt teal blue. This is cobalt blue. This is cobalt turquoise, cobalt green pale, cobalt green. And in here I did some mixes of cobalt blue violet and cobalt teal blue. And I really like this mix. It comes so beautiful. In here, you can see a mix of cobalt violet and cobalt violet deep, which is a slight different, but yeah, it is different violets. In here, it's cobalt green with cobalt turquoise. You can see it's more lighter, here a bit darker. In here, we have Aurelian and cobalt green. Here is the pure Aurelian, which I really love. It's one of my favorite yellows. Cobalt violet and Aurelian in here. And I also love this mix. It's very beautiful color combination of cobalt turquoise and cobalt violet. Another one that I love the effects of granulation and of this cobalt blue violet plus Aurelian. Here we have cobalt blue and cobalt blue violet. I suppose after they get dry, I will repost in our page and you will see dried colors. It will be more visible. Cobalt teal blue and cobalt blue violet, very beautiful combination. Even if be it an abstract or any other styles of paintings that we choose. Cobalt violet deep and cobalt teal blue. And in here I mixed three. It's cobalt blue, the blue that you see, with the cobalt blue violet here and just cobalt turquoise difference in here. It's not so visible. It's still wet because I did, while other brand ambassadors shown the mixes, I only missed the newer cobalt, which I still didn't get. Otherwise, I have all of them. And I really love the cobalt family of Daniel Smith. They are really beautiful. Again, mentioning the cobalt violet, which is one of my favorite, and cobalt teal blue, which I use very often in my paintings, whether be it painting the sky or the sea or any other more contrasted any contrast that I want to make as a popping, whether be it abstract or some figurative painting. So this is all. Maybe I will try. I see we don't have that much time. I could do some abstract combination if I can make it to finish for tonight. Okay. If not, then I will repost later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Besnick. So we're
Thank
gonna
you,
show
Besnick.
everybody's artworks. Anyone from
Wow,
our
what's
audience?
the red you added?
Sorry, Caroline.
Oh, I'm just looking how dynamic that red, or is it sienna you've added?
This one?
Angela?
No, this is Pyrrole Scarlet.
Pyrrole Scarlet looks fantastic.
It is
Can I
very
show
powerful.
you
Can I show you some sample the cobalt violet?
Yes.
Yes?
Uh,
Okay.
Sure, John.
Right, let me try. I use the complementary color with quinacridone gold and cobalt violet to produce this shadow.
Wow.
Very beautiful shadow. I love it.
Beautiful.
John.
I use cobalt violet and a little quinacridone gold to feel the warmth in the light.
Very beautiful. I really like the shadow.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I usually I use the cobalt violet, but I try to play with the complementary color to produce the desaturation, that grays, because this cobalt violet start to begin in gray, but it's the combination the gold and cobalt violet.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, it makes a beautiful shadow. Thanks for sharing.
Anyone else from our audience in Zoom would like to who's watched along and would like to share your swatch? Anna, Candela?
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. What did I do? Here. I just follow a little bit along, but I don't have that many cobalts, but a little bit of
Beautiful.
Angela, and it's still dripping.
Good.
And
Looks lovely.
I do have my and I'll show you, maybe I'll show you my swatches. These are the two colors that I have, which are cobalt and blue and cobalt teal. And I have to learn how Ashley does them, because this is like a regular gradient, but her swatches are awesome. All
Yeah, she's a master.
yeah, she's excellent. So, but these are the two that I have. So yeah, I want to share my swatches of both.
That's clever.
Lovely.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Very
shows
nice, Anna.
the different transparency, diffusion, staining, and mask color. So it's all in one glimpse. That's
Great.
all. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Anna.
Thank you.
So there
Thank you.
is a request here from how do you pronounce the name? Slavana. So we're gonna just show each artwork and then we do a group group frame. We start with Carrie and then Ashley and so on. So maybe Carrie, you wanna say something like a line or two for this part of your piece?
Sure. I am playing around with this cobalt glass that is pretty dark, mostly same. So I'm going to play around in here. I'm adding some of the cobalt violet and the cobalt violet deep, and I'm just going to try to get some, that kind of pinky purpley popping in there. And this will kind of be my base layer. And then I'll go in and add some of the darks. Like I said, we get the rims and the other colors in there. But this is a fun opportunity to be able to play. I envy Angela when you can be so free and just have everything. So this is my little part of being free.
I love it.
Thank you, Carrie. Then we're gonna have Ashley.
Wow.
Okay, so you guys, I pulled through. We've got the cobalt blue violet and the suggestion from the color stories to mix Prussian green, which is stunning by itself.
Yeah.
It gave us this like moody blue with like pops of green popping through. So that was lovely. And then I swatched them starting with the purple and then kind of like moved into green. So okay, so there's that one. And then I tried to copy Angela, and just like Carrie, I'm not so good at this stuff, but it's something.
Actually, it looks lovely.
Thank you. It was fun. And you know what? My hands aren't as messy as I thought, but they are pretty messy. It's fine. And then
Your water is beautiful. Look at your water. Look at what your water is doing.
yes.
Yeah.
Paper.
This
Yeah,
is cool.
cobalt teal and cobalt violet, such a beautiful
Yeah.
combination.
And it is really pretty, like purple color, but it separates. It doesn't stay together. So, oh my gosh, I've never mixed these two, but look at that.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
That's the best part of these lives is seeing these combinations. You know, like some people want to know the best combination. We can find some paints that are best friends.
Mhm.
oh
True.
yeah, beautiful. That'd be really fun mixture for Angela's method.
Mm-hmm.
Marble.
Is that cobalt teal or cobalt turquoise? That's cobalt turquoise, isn't it?
So I've got cobalt turquoise, I've got cobalt teal. Oh, this one, this is
Plants.
cobalt teal.
Cobalt teal. Okay.
Yep.
Well, your landscape, I will tell you, these are lovely purple, light purple clouds and a sea. I can see the sea and the waves. So you've done.
Oh, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
from Ashley, we bring you Angela. There. And I'm gonna have Giovanni and Besnick.
Yes. Okay, very quickly. Just
Beautiful, Angela.
well, I explained already. I mixed these pyrrole red, pyrrole scarlet to give a different tone and to show that they can mix very well with other colors. And mainly, I think that I can leave the color now B, and it's better not to move it anymore. So, and a lot of, I don't know if you can see it properly, but lots of textures inside. You can see the textures.
That's so beautiful, Angela.
It is. It almost looks like angel wings.
Angel,
Um,
Angel
Wait.
wings.
if you turned it vertical, it's like looking at the clouds, you know, when they make pictures.
yeah, that's
It
true.
reminds me of a coral reef.
Yes. Well, I cannot wait to try the new green. So another cobalt. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Gio?
Oh, beautiful, Gio. I love them.
Yeah, thank you.
So beautiful.
And,
Huh?
the first is a simple Oriole with pyrrole orange, cobalt blue with pyrrole orange, cobalt blue violet with pyrrole orange, and this use granulation and check the transparency with a line marker. And the last is a cobalt blue and pyrrole orange and titanium white for the pastel shade. Cobalt blue and Aureolin and titanium white. And the last is cobalt blue and cobalt blue violet with titanium white. And a beautiful granulation.
That's so pretty.
Love the mixture with the white also.
Yeah, yeah. It's very beautiful.
Wow.
Delicious.
Thank you. Go
All
Besnick.
right.
Very
Yes.
beautiful, Gio. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you. Thank you.
Hmm.
Besnick? Yeah.
Stick up,
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm here. So while they are getting dry, I'm just adding a few of brush strokes, very tiny, but it still needs a little bit more drying. I just explained the mixes. In here, I see very beautiful effect that will come some very nice, amazing thing getting mixed while it gets dry. But I need definitely to post it as a photo, so you will see it better. I really love all the mixes that happened. I would say this one I really love. This one and this one.
Which is your
Oh, yeah.
favorite?
What did you say, Angela?
Besnick. Which one is your favorite?
This one is very beautiful. It's looking so nice, but in camera it has some shyness of still not dry, the paper. So after it gets dry, I will repost and write down the names of the combinations again.
Okay.
It's very beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Also, I love this
So we're
too.
gonna show everyone's quickly. We'll show everybody's artwork / swatch, big swatch cards. Who else? Ashley's there. Jill, Carrie's. Anna's.
So fun.
Thank you to all.
Show yours to Anna.
Oh,
Thank you everyone for sharing.
See you tomorrow in Frankfurt, in Germany, for the creative world.
We wish you all the best there, guys, in Frankfurt.
Yes, see
Thank
you.
you. See you tomorrow.
And don't
And
miss
tomorrow-
Buffy's guesting tomorrow.
Yes,
Yes,
tomorrow.
we will be
yes.
Happy.
Yeah.
tomorrow on Friday Lives to see Buffy doing amazing things.
Bye, everyone.
See you
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Everyone,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Lovely words.
pleasure being always with you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.